following review is not meant to be a guide to the game. The footage, art, music, and sound effects used are credited down below. The review is heavily opinionated, but constructive criticism is accepted below. The Callisto Protocol is owned by Striking Distance Studios, Krafton, and Glen Schofield. Please support the official release. Space. A vast emptiness away from Earth where the only true sources of light come from the stars millions of years away. Hidden evil that lurks within that people wish to never encounter rears its ugly head after being disturbed by humanity. What the hell am I reading? Is this supposed to be Dead Space or Callisto Protocol?
Hey! I didn't do anything!
Hello once again, my fellow hunters. Hope you don't mind me getting cleaned up for today's review. Today we're talking about what people keep touting as the spiritual successor to Dead Space, the Callisto Protocol, and it's not that. Not for the lack of trying, but I've not played the original Dead Space, so I think I'm the right person for the job. At least I hope so! So, let's get through the synopsis basic stuff. You start the game as one man, the everyday pilot called Jacob Lee, who is literally just getting his stuff all nice and set up to journey through the world before he gets his ship fucking screwed and invaded by European activists. Dude's just trying to do his job, and this lady and her team fuck him over and get him to crash his ship, landing back on Callisto. This man then gets arrested along with the girl for no reason other than, oh boy, Orton says arrest you, so I guess I gotta. And now here you are. Lost your job, your title, even your hair. So how does the world react? Well, everything goes to hell. That is the simple synopsis, so it kind of works for me. I like the setup. Just some average Joe against what's left of the prison while being completely clueless as to what's going on. And the main collectible in the game are recordings that each chapter has. You really need to deduce though as to where the secret areas are, as the clues to find the next major area and to find the secret areas are very subtle, and you could end up progressing the story by accident, like how Strife told me. Combat feels incredibly involved when it's not just point and shoot, which, from what the Spectral Assassin has told me, is also not like Dead Space. It's nice knowing someone who has played Dead Space to help me differentiate how the games work.
Oh!
Bye, Dad.
Oh! Did you just die?
Yeah, he just tore off my arm. It's quite the trip going through the game. You're stuck traversing what used to be the prison, then the cold planet of Callisto, and then underground! Thank God for that suit upgrade at the end of the prison level. Right, I forgot that is a spoiler. Spoiler warning right here. Okay. Alright, now that that's out of the way, how does the story sound for the game? Honestly, it's pretty basic. You're some random guy who got accidentally involved with a bio breakout and is seriously intense at the start as you initially work on trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
We collected specimens and transported some able to reap the benefits of the intellect and humanity. Though killed by security forces during the outbreak, the body was transported to the 𝓮𝓵
Through some serious shenanigans, you get to not only an underground city that had lived through the very same horrors of the prison, but also a lab that reveals what Jacob was carrying in his cargo bay. Your main antagonists of the game are Jock and his mastermind that is supposed to be doing this as a test. Oh, congrats, Jacob! You're the sole survivor of me destroying my own prison. What's my prize? Death!
Well, that's not fair at all.
Also, beware, hiding all these supposed boys with snakes. I kind of liked the basic story, at least. There was at least like 20 infected prisoners I just ran from. Gameplay-wise, there's barely any puzzles, and after you've done one, you've done them all. Combat, though, feels stellar, and really requires field awareness to survive for the most part. The fact that you have a reliable melee weapon definitely means you can rely on fighting with a stick and save your bullets for like the actual bigger bosses. The guns are pretty cool. You have 3D printed handgun, or hand cannon, 3D printed snub-nose shotgun, a gifted riot shotgun, the stereotype machine pistol, also 3D printed, and finally the big fun gun of 3D printed assault rifle. There's a lot of 3D printing here. in God's name has it not put gunsmithing out of business? Oh, right. We're in a prison. Ah! Right. Prison is also falling apart. Anyways, the gameplay really emphasizes combat more than it does for survival horror. So much so that even the grip arm attachment kind of feels like cheating since you can pick enemies up and throw them. I had a blast though. It's fun throwing enemies into spinning death traps or obvious spike walls. Stellar gameplay and definitely a step up on Dead Space for that type of combat. The enemies though, honestly, it's a shame there isn't more diversity. You have your Moot, Fat Moot, Left 4 Dead Spitter Wannabe, Mutations on Wheels, Jump Scare Juncture.
Harem. There is no harem. But maybe. That is...
Oh shit! Fight me! $10 worth for you! Get the fuck off me! It was essentially a spider with jump scare powers.
Oh! Holy shit!
It sounds like a lot, but it really, really isn't.
Oh.
What?
I got caught
Set
on
over there.
I'm upside down.
Oh, shh!
Ew. What is that?
Something that's gonna kill me if I can't shoot it.
Okay, I forgot about these guys. They are the stealth mechanic, and from what Strive told me, essentially one-hit kills on the hardest game setting. They can't see, are sensitive to sound, and are practically the fucking clickers. Fuck. Aya? Ah!
Fuck you!
Oh. Forgot I rested here. I gotta let my gun back there. Okay, so, aside from all those guys, there's also your bosses, and they're a bit bland for being 5 instances of a boss fight. You fight 4 conjoined twins in total. One of them you can skip, and the final boss. The 4 conjoined twins are at least different each time, but not enough to really warrant being a boss. First one you fight alone, second one gets to have spawning enemies, third likes to have to be claustrophobic, and the fourth just shows up like an unwanted house guest. No, Randall, just because you brought casserole does not mean I want you here! Whoops! Literally nothing changes about the boss, just the arena, and it kinda hurts the enemy portion. Then you get Chadicus. Captain Ferris. You fight him twice, one of which is unwinnable, and the other being the final boss fight. He's a walking bullet sponge, and that's really it. You use his blood, get the cure, heal the girl, and then send her ass out of there to die for your sins. The end. Yes, I summarized the ending because that is a trope of a good ending for any infection-based movies and video games. It's been some time since I've actually beaten the game, and looking back on it, namely playing with a friend to not go mad, it's definitely a game to play. Is it a good game? On its own merits, I can rate it a clean 7 clearance levels out of 10. It's got good polish, a solid story, and good characters with a fun combat system. But the combat system and story pretty much also hold it back since you could trivialize the game even on higher difficulties if you're aware of your surroundings, and the story is just a variant of a zombie story. Nothing new and nothing gained. I have also managed to procure the thoughts of my friend who I was playing the game with, and these were the notes that she managed to give me. It was okay, it had a few good jump scares that made her smack her table. However, it was unfortunately short, and I can unfortunately agree with her on that part with how good the gameplay is, but it was relatively short as we managed to complete it within 4 streams. It even sets itself up for a sequel, so here's hoping it improves more on what story they wanted to tell.
No, it is not.
You might ask, well Dane, if a story and combat system are good and holding it back, why even mention it? And to that I tell you, because you can't go wrong with the basics, and having something solid. It's a safe gambit, it makes the game playable with every concept imaginable. Plus, it did get me a good few times with the jump scares. It has some good tension, I'll tell you that. I will recommend this game to anyone who wants to play an action horror game and not just a horror game. Marketing screwed the pooch on that by portraying it as space horror, much to the chagrin of the developers. This has been 𝓮𝓼 𝓛𝓲𝓷𝓮'𝓼, your tame authorized hunter for hire, signing off. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I wanted to take the time in order to thank a couple of my friends for assisting me with the video in terms of giving it a quick look before I put it out to make sure it was nice and perfect. Stay tuned to the channel as I will try and upload more of these types of videos as soon as I possibly can. Make sure to catch my streams. Bye!
Harem. There is no harem. But maybe. That is... Oh, shit! Might be $10 worth for you! Get the fuck off me!